Hi guys, this is Ranjit, and in this video we'll be doing the full review for the Samsung Galaxy A52 smartphone, which I had unboxed a couple of weeks ago. And I was not going to review this one, but I got a lot of requests from you guys, so I'm going to review it. And I'll divide it between the pros and cons, what do I like and what I did not like, some weird cons this device has. And certainly I would say in terms of pricing, you have that Samsung Premium for this one. This is priced at 26,500, but it's available for about 25,000. So certainly that heavy Samsung Premium and that A series Premium that you have on this one. And I've made some notes, so let's go over that. But before that, let me actually talk about some of the points that most of you have asked about this specific smartphone. And as I've told you guys, definitely you're paying that Samsung Premium of that 20-25% for this smartphone compared to other Chinese smartphones in the market. And again, this is an A series smartphone, so again you have that premium of that offline also, because this is generally sold for offline markets. So that's what we have, and this has a Super AMOLED screen. And some of you have also asked, is this a 5G smartphone? And the answer is no. This is a 4G smartphone. The variant that is sold in India comes with the Snapdragon 720G SoC, which is a 4G. There is also a 5G variant of this one that comes with Snapdragon 750G, but Samsung has not launched that model yet in India. I don't know if they'll launch it, but this is not a 5G variant. Lastly, some of you have also asked me about Samsung Pay. Yes, this does have Samsung Pay, guys, but the thing is that, and yes, it also has NFC support, but it does not have MST. So now let's quickly divide it between the pros and cons. And guys, here are the specs. I've already covered the physical overview, other aspects in the unboxing video. So if you want to know more, again, check out the unboxing video. In fact, I've also included a lot of camera samples because I feel the camera is actually pretty good on this one. So I'll leave the link of my unboxing in the description. So let's break it down with pros and cons. Let's talk about the pros first. And the first thing that I liked about is the AMOLED screen on this one. And again, guys, this is a Samsung smartphone, so you know the screen quality is actually really good on this one. Punchy, good AMOLED screen. And the thing is that this is actually now a 90 Hertz panel, and as you can see, if you go to this motion smoothing, you can set it to high, it goes to 90 Hertz refresh. The default is 60. And guys, I did all my testing only on this 90 Hertz. I did not test it on 60 Hertz. So it's nice to see they are giving it. Yes, I know some other vendors are giving 120, but this is a big leap for Samsung, because Samsung in the mid-range never used to give beyond 60 Hertz on their AMOLED screen. So it's a good AMOLED screen. And another thing is that we also have a proper true always on this one, and we also have that in-display fingerprint scanner. In-display fingerprint scanner performance is actually decent, guys, but again there is a half a second delay, but much more improved than earlier some of the phones that I've seen with Samsung. So we have that. I actually prefer the side-mounted fingerprint scanner, but as you see, this works, and this always on display is also there. And guys, regarding the battery, I did all my testing with this always on display. So when I share my battery stats, do note of that. If you disable this, you might get even better battery life. So anyways, screen quality is good. And now let's talk about the call quality on this one. And this is important because recently I was testing some of the Redmi smartphones, and specifically on the Redmi Note 10 Pro, I said in my review, I had a huge problem with the proximity sensor when we were taking calls. Fortunately, that issue is not there on this one. Call quality was very good, and the screen doesn't go crazy when you are taking calls. So in that area, I feel Samsung has done a good job in the basics. I would say these are some of the basics of the smartphone that was done good. And I tested here in Hyderabad with Airtel as well as Jio. No issues of call quality. The earpiece is good, and again the speakers also good. The speakers are actually stereo speakers on this one. Let me actually give you an idea about the stereo speakers. Again, just having namesake stereo speakers is not good if they are not balanced. We have seen in some of the cheaper Android phones, they give stereo speakers, but the thing is that 80% of the volume comes from one side, other side only 20% comes. So it's simply not good experience. Fortunately, here it's not the case. I'm going to increase the volume, and I'm going to block this, so the sound, as you can see, it's coming from here, and I'm going to block this. So it's about 60% of the sound comes from this one and 40% comes from this one. But again, it has quite a bit of wide sound stage. So I feel the speakers are good. I wished it went even louder, But for stereo speakers, I would say it is done well on this smartphone. In fact, I was watching some Netflix shows and stuff. The stereo separation was actually pretty good. Coming to Netflix, some of you have also asked me. I have actually taken a screenshot, so let me show that to you. Yes. It does have that wideband L1 support, so it plays that HD content in Netflix as well as on Amazon. But for some strange reason, HDR compatibility, it says no, which is a bummer, guys. And I hope Samsung fixes this with an update, because the quality of the AMOLED screen is actually pretty good. When I was watching videos and stuff, it was very punchy and stuff. So I hope they enable the HDR functionality with an update if they can do that. But yeah, wideband L1 support was there. Now coming to the next thing is regarding another thing. As I've told you, call quality was good. And I also took a lot of calls over voice over Wi-Fi. That's becoming very important. And in that aspect also very good. So in terms of call quality, no issues with this, no proximity sensor issues, very practical, didn't have problem with even very long calls that were over 20-25 minutes. So that is a good thing. Next thing is regarding the memory management. And guys, this comes in two variants, 6 gigabytes of RAM and 8 gigabytes. I have this one, 6 one. And I would say the memory management is done very well on this. These are some of the apps that I opened in the morning and they are still in memory, as you can see. So that way, I would say it works very well. Memory management is good, and some of the apps like Truecaller, etc., also reside in memory. So in terms of memory management, it doesn't have the tendency to boot out apps very quickly like many of the other smartphones, especially Chinese smartphones. Redmi do that. They boot out apps very quickly out of memory. That was not the case on this one. So in that way, I would say it's good. And also in terms of UI, like this is Samsung Pay. In terms of UI, it handles the UI fine. I would say no issues with that, and it's a fluid experience. Snapdragon 720G, I wished it was 732 or something, but in day-to-day activities it's fine. And this comes with the new One UI 3, and as you can see, I like that on the left. Now you finally have the Google pane. I always like this when vendors do that instead of putting their crap on the left pane. So this is way more functional, I would say, and works. And I would say in fluidity, the UI is fluid, guys, no issues. You have the typical Samsung UI if you have used any Samsung smartphone. And yes, as I've told you, NFC is also there on this one. Next thing is regarding the things that are a little bit different on this one, and generally we don't find it mid-range. This one is IP67. That means it's waterproof. In fact, I poured water on this one and nothing happened. As you can see, I poured that about a couple of weeks ago. It's perfectly working. And also in terms of camera, it has optical image stabilization. So that is actually a good thing. I also played Call of Duty on this one, and it could play it fine even with the very high graphics settings. No issues with Call of Duty. So gaming is a good experience, but I would say strictly it's not a highly gaming centric smartphone. Yes, the processor 720G handles games fine, but if you're sort of a hardcore gamer, you could get the Poco X3 Pro for a lot less price if you are a hardcore gamer. Yes, but Call of Duty, I had actually a good experience. And also in terms of heating, this phone does not heat up that much with the regular usage. Yes, with gaming, it got slightly warm here, but that's normal. But in regular usage, I did not have an issue of excessive heating or anything like that. Let's talk about the battery life on this one. This one has a 4500 milliamp hour battery, and I would say it gets actually pretty good battery life because of the Snapdragon 720G. This is a very optimized processor, and it's very frugal in terms of battery life. That way, the idle drain is very low on this one. And as I've told you guys, I did all my battery testing with this always on screen like this. So if you disable it, you might get even better battery life. And in terms of screen on time, I was getting anywhere about 6 hours to about 6.5 hours of screen on time with this one, with a typical full days of usage. At the end of the day, I was always having about 20 to 25% battery life left on this one. So battery life is good, but it's not a 2-day battery life. And guys, I was using it on the 90 Hertz with that always on. So if you disable that, maybe you'll get slightly better battery life. But for most users, I would say regular users, battery life is not an issue. But one thing I don't like is, and I think so I'll talk about that in the cons. So let's talk about the camera on this one. Okay, we have that quad camera set up on this. The main camera is a 64 megapixel and we have optical image stabilization. Then we have a 12 megapixel, that's ultra wide. Then we have the 55 megapixel ultra wide and macro and depth cameras. Front is 32. And guys, here are some of the samples that I've taken with this smartphone, and I have also shown some of the samples in my unboxing video. And as you can see, the camera performance is a big standout, I would say, compared to many of the smartphones in this price range specifically. And I think so that's thanks to the optical image stabilization. Even the human skin tones were produced very well. And I also like the fact that the ultra wide, which generally gets distorted or has darker shades when you compare it with the regular lens, that is not the case. So in terms of camera, I would say they have done a really good job. And even in indoor lighting and not in that great lighting situation, I felt the camera did actually really good job in this one. So I would certainly say the rear camera is one of the big highlights of this one, and I think so big part of that is due to the optical image stabilization that this smartphone has. And 64 megapixel is actually pretty good, I would say. Now moving to the front facing camera, it's a 32 megapixel front facing camera, and outdoor snaps actually came out decent, as you can see, but I felt that indoor lighting conditions, it could be optimized a little bit, because I got a little bit of shake and slight softness in indoor lighting with the front facing camera. So guys, these were the things that I liked on the smartphone. Now let's move to the cons, and my god, very typical cons. I don't know what Samsung is doing. Okay, the first thing is, as I've told you guys, not an issue. It comes with one UI and all those things. If you go over here, if you go to software information, it has the one UI 3.1. So that's the latest one, and Android version is 11. So that's not a problem. But the thing is that as this is a mid-range smartphone, Samsung has started doing this with the M series and even this A series, is the introduction of ads. And that is very, very irritating. When you set up the phone, if you're not careful, you will get ads and stuff. And even on the wallpaper like this, you will get. So be very careful when you're setting up the smartphone. In fact, watch the video that I posted on the unboxing video of the Galaxy M12. There I showed you how to actually set up the phone, because if you don't do it properly, you'll get ads. But even after doing that, Samsung does not stop. And this is getting very irritating. And if you noticed here, it's constantly prompting me for this thing known as App Cloud, and you just can't just swipe this away and go. And if you tap on this, see what will happen. This is further inclusion of ads and stuff. Here, discover great apps. I don't want this, so I just say allow. I'm just going to hit continue, but still it's going to say optimize and prompt you for this rubbish. And if you just agree install, it will install a bucket load of rubbish to you. So I'm just taking it out, but because of that, the stupid icon will again come over here. And also we have this Galaxy store. I don't know, it keeps on prompting. I don't want to use it. I didn't even use my Samsung account, but it still keeps you prompting of this one. Again, I would suggest not to use the Samsung account and just use the Google Play Store to install your apps. So these are some of the things that I've noticed. Another thing that I've noticed is that in the weather app, if you come here, right now it's not showing me the ad, guy, but it did show me ad earlier. I actually took a screenshot, so let me show you. Okay, here, as you can see, this is the weather app, and I'm getting an ad over here. So these are some of the things that are happening. And also this My Galaxy app, you can disable it, but this My Galaxy app also keeps sending you actually unnecessary notifications. And I would suggest that you go over the notification here, and by default it is on, you just block it. So I don't like this trend of Samsung introducing this nagware within the phone and some of the ads that are coming up in weather app and stuff like that. And I don't know about the update situation on this one, but I've seen that some of the M series phones, when they are getting OTA updates, a lot of junk apps are getting installed. For example, I did not install some of the junk apps, but as you can see, these junk apps were installed on this. You can uninstall it, but it is there. And Samsung is now kind of pushing these unnecessary apps with OTA update. So that might also be an issue with this smartphone. So be careful, after OTA update, you might have to manually uninstall. So I'm not liking this trend, what Samsung is doing, and they should really tone this down. Next thing is regarding the back. I've also mentioned about this in my unboxing video. And guys, this is a completely plastic back, and I feel it does not look that premium, I would say. And because it's a plastic back, I don't know if the camera can capture it. Here already have got some scratches and nicks. So again, you have to be very careful, and Samsung does not even provide a case within the box. So if you're buying this smartphone, put a skin or put a case, I would say, because this will definitely get scratches. And I would say, yes, plastic is more durable. If it falls, it won't crack like glass. But I feel Samsung could have put something like glass stick, what they used to put. It used to feel like glass. Definitely that felt a lot more premium. That's this plain Jane looking plastic. This might be just me, but this is what I have noticed. We are getting the Snapdragon 720G processor on this. Not a bad processor, but for this price, they could have given the Snapdragon 732G. But yeah, this is what we are getting. And I think so we shouldn't complain, because the Samsung Galaxy A51 actually came with the old Exynos 9611. So it's a big leap for Samsung, but still, yeah, that's what we are getting. And next thing is very silly on this smartphone. And I don't know why Samsung does this. Haptics are there on this. The vibration motor and everything is there on this smartphone, guys. But the default Samsung keyboard that we get, on that, haptics are actually disabled. And you can easily get that back. What I did is I just installed the Google keyboard, and now I have haptics back. So I am a person who loves haptics while typing. So if you want it back, you can easily get it back with the Gboard. But I don't get it. Why, Samsung, are you disabling that functionality with the default keyboard? So these are some of the silly things that Samsung is doing it on this smartphone. It's not the limitation of the hardware, they're trying to do it via software. So I don't like that. As I've told you guys, this smartphone supports 25 watt of fast charging. But the charger supplied in the box is just a 15-watt charger. So I don't get it when the competition at a lower price is giving way faster chargers like 33 watts, etc. Samsung should have actually provided that 25-watt charger. So guys, these were some of the cons that I have noticed with this smartphone. And I feel Samsung should have also launched the 5G variant of the smartphone in India. Yes, I know it would have been priced a little bit more, almost close to about 30,000 typical Samsung pricing, I would say. But that would have given a consumer a choice. If they wanted the 4G variant, they could have gone with this one. If they wanted that 5G variant, they could have paid the premium. But they didn't launch that. And I don't know if they will launch that 5G variant in future. So these are some of the things that I have noticed with this smartphone. But overall, I would say, and before that, one thing that I really like with the some of the new Samsung smartphones, and we have to applaud that, is now Samsung is guaranteeing 3 years of Android OS updates on this new smartphone, and that is applicable even to this one. So right now it's on Android 11, it will get 12, 13 and 14. So that way I would say it's a very good thing, because many of the vendors after 2 years, they just forget about the smartphone. This will not only get 3 years of Android updates, but 4 years of Android security updates. And I think so that's a big deal. And it's the right move that Samsung is doing. So we have to applaud Samsung for that. And overall, I would say, if I have to summarize this smartphone, I would say overall it's a very good balanced mid-range smartphone with excellent camera performance because of that optical image stabilization. And also you get some unique things like that IP67 waterproofing, which is generally not found on this price range. But certainly you are paying that Samsung premium for the same. So guys, that was my review for the Samsung Galaxy A52. What do you guys think about the same? And guys, if you're still not subscribed to the YouTube channel, hit that subscribe button. A lot more reviews are coming soon in the next couple of weeks. So again, stay tuned for that. Anyways, guys, that's it for now. Thanks for watching. And if you aren't subscribed, hit that subscribe button. And guys, take care. Catch you later.